far as the front of that.
Before we're starting.
The town.
Oh. Let's see.
Big revenue part.
All entries or data?
That-
What tab is this?
I'm sorry,
What tab is this? I'm under proposed budget, but
the copy of financial. Copy of 2024 Zandt preliminary estimate. That.
Okay, you say you go to proposed budget?
Yes.
look at the 2024. I think I preliminary.
Changes.
Is the new one?
This is the one I sent out last night. So.
Any financial?
Went to financials, And then I didn't know where we went to.
I did, and left. I gotta hear it in there.
County auditor.
So you're on tab one data. When you're,
I'm sorry.
you're on. under
I don't
tab
know
number
what,
one.
I think she said go to
Yeah.
proposed.
It's that.
The financials, I'm in the
I
preliminary.
don't know where she went
And
to.
now it's broke down. First tab.
Where do you go to, Sandy, after we get to a little bookmark? Where are we going to?
I'm not the one this morning. Are you in the proposed budget?
Yes, ma'am.
Just go to the auditor?
And then we gotta go to another one, to do the second part. The revenue,
Yeah, okay, that's the one I was looking at, was revenue.
the revenue, go to, under proposed budget. Go to copy of 2024 Zandt preliminary estimate of value.
Tax values for 24 preliminary, okay.
Oh, shared the wrong screen. Did you have a chance to look at the other camera?
Yeah, it's. It happened last year too, we had to send part off to get it repaired. I gotta look at what that was, I gotta think of that.
Mm, okay,
Restarted everything, but it's not good. They had taken a surge during the storms.
Who chose the new clock?
The hands on it.
Yeah, it's
Well,
hard.
it's hard,
It's hard
really.
to see what time
The
it
hand,
is.
the hand flash. It's the son of fan out.
Probably, I hope it was free.
Are you the only one on it?
Huh?
You're the only,
No,
only department.
You're gonna go over everything. Huh?
we did back in the day with that.
I see.
Really.
no, it gets lost in the screen.
Oh,
They lost.
Oh, wonder why.
It's
Oh.
resolution.
There you go.
All right. Well, it's meeting to order at 9:08 and we have Cindy, our auditor. And you have the floor. We're gonna go over what the revenue projections are, correct?
If you look at my budget, it's included.
Okay,
Well, I tried to fix an Excel, the worksheets today, because we're gonna have a tax revenue. Tax rate lesson. This is the estimated taxes that we received from the appraisal district as of April 30th. Now, these are preliminary because, of course, there will be, people protesting no taxes, so. We won't get the exact revenue figures until end of July, 1st of August. But this will be close enough, we can work with these figures throughout the budget. But they're not exact, so, I just wanted you to see what she sends me. And then if you go over to the next tab, Judge,
gonna find my mouse. Estimated tax rates right there.
yes. And when you figure your tax rates, as you can see, at the top where it says real and personal, industrial, utility and mineral. I put in what was 2023, and then the 2024 are the new figures that she's given us. You can see that our growth is at 16.5%. Then the new taxable figure is a 231 billion. Our new growth was at 20. And then we have the frozen taxable values. Now, in order to come to your no new revenue rate, you have to take your taxable value. You went too far. You take your taxable value and you subtract your new property values. Because they're included in that value. You don't have anything to do with your frozen levy, leave that all alone. So the taxable value that we're subject to the no new revenue is the 5,574,000,000. They're on line 9. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Mhm.
So what you do is you take your levy from 2023, which is the 14 million, that was our tax levy last year. You divide it by your new rates, which gives you your new taxable rate. Because what we're having to do is even though our values went way up, we gotta bring our revenue back down to where we had it last year.
The 3.5% bill,
We're
right?
not, right now, we're just bringing our levy back down to our levy back down to the 14 maximum right
That
now.
right there.
And to do that, we have to drop our tax rate to 0.2586 right there. Mhm. And then from that point, we can increase the levy 3.5%. That gives you your voter approval rate, which you're allowed to use and not have a rollback collection. Now,
So we're
the,
going down another 15 cents.
Well, you including the road and bridge,
yes,
right?
I've got your maintenance and operating on one side,
Oh,
and then on the
Yeah.
other side is your special road tax.
okay.
So you can see your maintenance and operating went down to 0.2677 right there. And on the other side, Judge, your special road tax went down to 0.08708. 0.84136. That's your special rate to bring it back down to get your same revenue figures as last year. So if you scroll on down to the yellow, that would give you your money, that would be your money coming in for the new year.
14 million there and 4.7 there.
And there's your new property that you were asking me about yesterday,
The revenue there.
599 and the 195.
So close to 800,000, right?
So total would be getting around 20 million, 19 something.
Yeah, right, close to 20. Well, again, this doesn't include the protest amount, so. Right.
And then the orange is your rates if you go, when we increase the taxes by 3.5%. So what happens there is, see, we have our tax rate there at 0.354836. That's both of them complete. And then y'all turn around and move it down, recalculate the M&O and SRT rate, and you put your SRT to 10 cents. And when you do that, you can see the amount that the maintenance and operating loses. We lose $750,000 out of M&O and give it to you on your special road tax side.
In order to make sure the road tax stays at 10
At
10
10
cents.
Yes, sir. So you can see the shift when you do that. I just want y'all to be aware.
And that's not new. That's something we've done ever since the road tax went in.
You have, yes. So that's that sheet. And the second Van Zandt estimated tax rate thing there is just I included. You can go back and review these and come ask me any questions. I put the frozen levy on that, in that one, on the third tab there, Judge, at the bottom.
I'm getting there.
I'm sorry. That, I added your frozen taxes back in there, because we did gain some revenue which you gain revenue on frozen taxes, but you lose it up in your appraisal side, it's just kind of a wash there. So if we move on. And I've got it broke down further down in here. I know you're wanting to look at the revenues, and we will get there.
Okay.
On the voter approval, the next tab. That's where we were, that's where we are this year. We have the tax levies at. You just have to use the tax levy. I can't go down into the frozen taxes or the delinquency or anything. I have to use that right there.
That amount right there.
Yes. So see, we were at 19,136,000.
Okay, that was.
That's where we're at right now, today.
Fiscal 24, fiscal year 24,
Yes.
okay,
That's today.
all
And then
right,
if you go to the 2024, no new revenue, the next tab. We're there, see, we're at 19. And we have the new values in there, so it brought us back down to where we start. So this is where we start our budget with.
mhm.
That's the rate.
This
We're
is,
looking at 0.342837.
okay,
And we were at 0.405. So you can see how much we're having to drop our rate just to get back to the no new revenue rate.
all right. Show me that again, is it down here, where is it,
Okay, go up top. And see the tax levy
here, right here,
right there, and see your rate.
34,
Right,
right,
right
got it, okay,
That's your tax rate right there.
Right
That's
there.
both of them.
okay,
Is that with the 3.5%? That's without the 3.5%.
That's where we start right here.
That's where we start.
Okay,
Is everybody good with that one?
so
okay,
I'm just trying to learn here.
That's fine. That's why I want to show it to you.
So the 19 million on tax levy plus the 3.5 on the frozen. So to use an estimated revenue, the word I'm gonna use instead of tax levy is 22.6 million. Is that right?
Yes, but then that's the revenue, and we're gonna budget 3% delinquency. We're only gonna budget the 22,052.
this is at 3% right
Yes.
here,
Why, okay, why do we do a 3% delinquency?
that's, people don't pay their taxes. We
You
don't,
don't-
we don't,
Okay.
when they don't pay their taxes, we
All right.
don't
So the
get
delinquency,
the money,
we take that in consideration, people don't pay their taxes 3%. Okay.
right,
Yes.
Okay.
You know, when Scott Hyde was out there, he always estimated, he said we should estimate 5,
mhm,
but I think we're comfortable doing the 3%
Mhm.
most of the time.
In a perfect world, you wouldn't have to do that.
Right, yeah, I'm just trying to understand the terminology you are using.
mhm.
And a lot of times they didn't allow for 3%, by the time you figure in interest and penalties, you wind up over 100 anyway.
And if we go over 100%, you know, if we go over that budget, that's just good.
Right,
We just increase our fund balance.
And so
And
the
again, these are just estimates, Brandon.
right, and the estimated revenue is
22 million,
plus 3.5%, right?
Yes, because this is where we start.
this is
Right,
starting,
okay.
the
We'll
starting
go
point
to the
right
next-
there,
To the slide.
next,
This is with no new property.
Right,
22,052.
okay. This is the no, is
That's
this,
the voter approved with property. You may not want to look at that one.
okay, I have to go to it in
Okay.
order to get to the next one, you want this one, voter
I want
approved?
the voter approved. Yes, I think that's it. With a SRT adjustment. Y'all just can look at that one. That's where I've adjusted, if you go up, see, I've adjusted. When you do your 3.5%. And you adjust the special road to 0.10, your rate's gonna come up to 0.354836. That's just close, I mean, that's gonna change. But when she gives us our new rate, she'll actually give us the rate.
Right,
I'm not a certified,
and that's with the road.
I'm not able to be a certified tax person, or RTC. So the only person that can do that is your appraiser or your tax collector.
yeah,
So we're rolling tax rate back by 0.05 roughly.
Yes. And what we'll start working with, Brandon, is that 23,503.
right there,
Right. Yeah, I'm with you, I'm just trying to learn.
And you can go back and look at the slides, and if you have any questions, you know, I'm there. So this is kind of a quick overview. But that's where we'll start. And so the next tab should be general fund. Now, this is not anything with y'all, it's not road and bridge, and it's not special road. This right here is strictly the general fund, where we're working with the sheriff and everybody but y'all, okay? Because every department but the full road and bridge is considered general fund. So I penciled in what I'm projecting for the 9/30/2024 fund balances. And that will go up because I've put in 100% expenditure. And we never do the 100% expenditure, you know,
Mhm.
we usually come in. We usually give these people a budget $1 million, they usually come in about $1 million less.
Right.
So, you know, we're gonna,
But we budgeted $1 million over last year, 2024, so
we
probably,
did,
it's probably gonna be closer to,
it'll be
Even.
closer this year.
right,
So I penciled in all the revenue figures for the general fund. So what you're looking at starting 17,072,000 is what we're looking at working with.
Everybody. with
Everybody
road
but y'all. And we gained 405,000 from the taxes, is what the general fund's gonna gain. If we had maintained that 750, you can see what that would have done, but we shifted it. And we shift it every year, so y'all gain quite a bit of money every year for the roads.
Does any of that money go into that, the county reserve general fund, or the fund that we were talking about the other day?
That 750,
No, you like I guess our rainy day fund, you said the county has a rainy day fund?
it's included in that.
Oh, it is, okay,
In that 10 million. If you go up, Judge. See that 12 reserve,
yeah.
it's grown to 6,250,000 this year, because we drew interest on it.
And we plan on putting 200.
Well, that's interest, 228,000 interest.
Interest,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
So we don't add to that pot every year with the percent or whatever,
We.
just the interest amount.
yeah, just
Just-
besides the interest.
So we're looking at starting with 17 million. Now, I wanted to show y'all in the next slide, the next tab. It's just something to be thinking about. I kind of went over it briefly with the judge yesterday. I know we did away with our compliance officer last year. And we really need to start watching those fines and fees because they dropped. I had to drop a lot of the revenue figures through there this year. The county clerk, you can see I had to drop her 126,000. She was like judge, the county judge, see, we're dropping him 26. Because he gets paid for everything he signs, you know, that's his revenue. If we're not getting cases in here and we're not getting payment on them, then everybody's revenue's dropping. The biggest drop that was noticeable to me was in the fines and fees. Further down, well, see, I got them highlighted in yellow. For the county court at law fines, we dropped 135,000. And I think, if my memory right, Judge, we talked about that revenue line last year. Because we kind of left it where it was at. It was kind of dropping last year. I don't know if you recall that conversation.
Not right offhand, no.
But the court's money is dropping. Because you don't have anybody calling and reminding people they're behind. That's my take. May not be, I don't know. But I just wanted y'all to be aware.
The question comes, are the amount of fines dropping too, or just what we're collecting dropping? We need to do an analysis on that to see.
Well, y'all help me out. I thought we were more or less mandated, we had to do away with that position. Can we have that position legally? The one we did?
Well,
I thought some of these courts said we couldn't do that.
It was no longer mandated to have it, I believe is what it was. I don't know that we had to get rid of it.
No, something, help me out. I thought
Well,
something
I
came up.
thought Karen was gonna take this over.
It
Didn't
was
she?
supposed to be absorbed in the district clerk. She was gonna start.
Something come up and said that she couldn't collect for somebody else or something. There was some deal there that,
Honda
Was
company
there
talked about
was something
yeah,
that they could not collect? That position could not collect the money.
Right. Cause
it.
they're
It had to be under a clerk.
under
So we-
elected official,
So we moved
Yeah.
the position under.
yeah.
So we need to look, if we can, to get a compliance officer.
well, no.
We have.
It sounds to me like our clerks are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Since we did away with it, they were supposed to pick that up. And they're not taking care of business like she was.
See,
what
the
it sounds like.
JPs do pretty good, which theirs are still dropping, but after 60 days, we have graves under stalls picking theirs up.
Right.
So,
But Bonnie was working the first 60 days, or what was the other lady's name? Which one? Liz. They work the first 60 days and then the collection agency picks up after.
All right.
so when y'all say clerks, come on, a district and county clerk, are they in charge of, all that?
They are now. Since we did away with, what'd you say her name was?
She was a compliance
Yes.
officer.
Yeah,
Compliance.
yeah, it doesn't matter what her name was, the compliance officer.
So these are our projected revenues, right?
That's 24, that's where we're at right now.
Okay, so that is,
Then
that
I
is
just-
collections, not necessarily what's been charged, that's collections,
No, that's the budget for 2024.
okay?
And then if you, we've been through 7 months of collection. So we kind of base it on 7 months of collection time, divide that by monthly average 12, and then multiply by 12 to come up with our new rates. See, the county clerk fees are going from $496 to $370.
Which we're under hundred and twenty-six.
We're gonna drop
Right.
it 6 for the new budget. We're dropping quite a bit of the revenue. And see, even in our, like our tax, like Misty, the tax office, we're not gaining, we're gaining a lot of people, but we're not gaining a lot of money there, and I think it's because people just aren't registering their cars. You know, I don't know, that's the only thing I know.
That's these right here,
Yes, tax collector, regular commission.
Well, Sandy, is there a deal on that? If they register online, does that cut us out?
We get the money.
no,
Okay.
anybody's registering in the. Well, they're not now, they're,
I'm gonna raise her, yeah, but you know, you would think with the growth that we're having, our registration would be greater, but. But those are just things y'all can look at and think, you know. And one of the things is like that rural constable supplement, I budgeted 50,000 this year, and then we didn't get the 659 out of that. I thought we were gonna get a lot more in that. By the way, the law read, but we didn't. But then you got the Title IV reimbursement, which is what my office figures, that's CPS, we send a report to them. And it's gonna drop this year, but what that tells you is CPS cases are, the cost of the cases are going down, you know, we're getting less cases. So that reimbursement's going down, so, well, that's a good thing.
well. We need to wait for Judge Winters to do his presentation, because they took over CPS.
Yes.
And they add a significant amount for indigent legal defense in that regard. I don't know if that just came from somewhere else or if it was added.
He kind of based it on what Judge Winters have now,
Okay,
so. But if you go to the next slide.
ain't no mouse.
Okay, so I've started them. The beginning revenue balance up there of the 17,072. Okay. Yesterday, here's what we did. The jail, I put in what their 2024 budget was and what they requested and the difference. Here. So you can see they requested an increase of 30% in their budget. The same with the SO, the dispatch, the IT and HR. So after all the requests yesterday, now that y'all hadn't changed anything, that's just strictly what they asked for, okay?
That's their 8%,
That's got their 8% in it,
okay,
and, the other two had the 5.
okay,
We're down to 6,373,000 in revenue, you know, because that's what we got available to spend, 17,072, with just the new tax, with just our revenue this year. So, there we go. We're starting.
So we're starting 17 million,
If you don't want to get in your fund balance,
right?
you got 10 million up there in fund balance, but that's just strictly your revenue for this year. You still got 10 million sitting over in the side from fund balance. But when you get into your fund balance, you really need to get into it for things that are one-time expenditures. You need to have a plan. I mean,
Okay.
if you wanna do the windows, if you wanna do, you know, a construct, something. Because if you get into it for salaries,
it's ongoing.
you continually have to get into that.
So what is the difference? Between you say a fund balance is 10 million. And what was that 6 million that's getting interest? What fund is
That's
that?
part of the 10
That's
million.
part of the.
It's part of the
10
10 million, but it's reserved. We can't go into it.
Okay, so it's like we have 10 million in there, but only 4 million is accessible.
Correct.
That's correct.
Okay.
It's all,
Less than
it's
six.
all,
Well,
I
We
mean,
don't want to.
4 million is
Readily available,
available.
right?
Yeah.
but we gotta remember, with this disaster we're in, I'm estimating $2 million on all this stuff that we've gotta fix from all these floods. That I hope that's what we've got that far, is
That's
to
what we
cover
have it
that.
for.
Now, eventually, we'll get a good chunk of that back,
75%.
75%, but it's gonna take a while. So we have to set aside $2 million right now to get us back where we were on the debris and the roads. So now.
And
you're
that's
down-
what that's supposed to be used for,
That-
but like she's saying, salaries, it's
Yes.
Ongoing.
rotating every year.
Yes.
Ongoing.
Yes, so now you're down to, if we do go into it, you don't wanna go into it more than 2 million, and it's gotta be on something that's not recurring.
Because Patillo is, I mean, they think 6 million is good. You know, us having that set up and they're good with that. And, you know, so if we need to get into the other that, and if y'all think the disaster's gonna be 2 million, then, you know, we'll need to take 2 million from that and move it into a fund. And that's where all your expenditures come out of for FEMA. And then as we get the FEMA money back, we'll pay it back. But that's where you're at if you just balanced your budget and did not get into your fund balance at all,
Just for M&O.
just for M&O. So that's where your adjustment, you know, that's where you have to work. You have to begin working. Because we still got a whole bunch of people left to hear. And take from, but we'll get there.
You ever heard that term, you can want one hand and blanking the other?
This is their Christmas list most of the time. You know what? You ask for the moon and hope you land on a star, you know, I mean, it doesn't hurt anything for them to ask. We need to hear their needs or their wants, whichever way we want to decide. And then if you go to the next one, and I'm gonna try to keep that workshop updated, you know, every day, every time.
Right,
we
that'd
do.
be great.
This is just kind of a little.
So those that don't, as soon as we get to 0, we don't hear anybody else. We
We
just drop those departments, right?
I just, the top portion is where you can see, last year's levy and then where we would be this year at the 3.5. You can see we would gain 1,718,000. Now that looks big, but that's also including the frozen tax levy. I push that, I have to push that in there too, so. That's everything. So you can ignore the bottom part, because that's without the SRT adjustment. And I went and looked at the 5% increase for salaries with the increases in retirement, and with the increase in insurance. And that gonna run the, general fund a little over 400,000, so. You
The
can-
insurance, the retirement, and this 5% is just 400,000?
I think it was 493, so,
493 increase.
Right,
That's for everybody though.
that's just the general fund, that's not y'all's
493.
guys.
Okay, this is general fund.
493.
I thought it'd be higher than that.
I did too.
What'd you say?
493,
Yes.
I believe it is, I've got it on the sheet.
Yeah. Now that's.
You want me to pull the
that's
sheet
just,
up, or?
500,000 increase on top of what it is.
This one-
You go out of
I thought
there,
it'd be higher than if you added that 25%, 25 cents.
Go away.
retirement.
Just X out of that,
Salary
shift the
increase
X.
For everybody. I figured it'd be higher.
and this is all available on y'all's portal. Go back one, use the back arrow, up. Over. Ah, that back arrow, right there, yeah. After you do the salary structure. And you do the 2025 salary structure. And go to that consolidated tab down there, Judge. That right there shows you, right there, the increases for general, a 5% is 376,000 in salaries, down. Use your arrow down. Right there, yeah. See, it cost the road and bridge 136, and it cost the general fund 493, so.
So we're looking at around 540,000 for everybody. No.
600,
600, yeah,
600,000.
593, 630,000.
And all these are available on y'all's portal, they're in there, y'all can look at them, you can. Figure out if I messed up.
And that's with the increase of the retirement too, right?
Yeah, see, she's got it
Not the
broken out.
2% there, that sheriff was asking yesterday, that's just retirement, our match went up
Yeah,
this year to.
the match on the increased salary,
Yes.
that's all that is right there, that's not the. Were y'all able to figure out what the going up?
She's got so.
Okay,
And then if you wanna look at your rates or anything, you can go into the county, the road and bridge tab. You can see. Judge Reese had me figure 5%, is what he asked me to start with, so that's. What's built into, like that's yours, if you wanna go in there and look at yours. So I'm gonna have to go check that, that doesn't look right.
Mine ain't right. Those two, I got two guys that ain't been there in a year.
Well, I don't have the names updated. I usually keep that tab hid. Yeah. See, there's the county. Yeah, you can just go through there and browse and look, and that's all there for your information.
Thank you.
okay,
So it looks like we're good on the revenue. But we gotta fix we lost a lot of money on the
Collection.
court side.
yeah,
We gotta figure out how to get that back.
And I guess we're having a lot of court, we're in a lot of cases.
so we need to do an analysis to see if. If the amount of fines is increasing or decreasing. Because technically, even though we don't have somebody collecting for the first 60 days, the collection agency kicks in after that and would be collecting after 60 days. And we don't, it doesn't cost us anything because they add their fees on top of whatever the fines and are.
They get percentage of what they collect.
No, they add their percentage on top of what.
It's
what-
fine plus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
And, we don't write a lot of checks to, we changed to Lombard from Grace Humphrey Stalls and county clerk and district clerk. And which you have to consider district clerk. A lot of those fines that are being assessed up there, the individual's probably going, maybe going to TDC. And so, when they're sitting in TDC, they're what the compliance officer was doing was watching to see if they got out.
got out.
And then once they got out, she started sending their letters again, notifying them. That's probably not happening now because when they're in TDC, you usually don't collect, you collect very little money from them.
Mhm.
We do get a little bit, but not much. But I don't see the bigger, the more, the collections are being sought in the JP courts. And you and I know the tickets are down in JP court because the troopers aren't here, And then up there again,
Oh, they are now. They're back.
the court system is not a revenue generating center for the county. Our money comes from taxes.
Mhm.
So
They're just supplement.
they're a little bit of the gravy.
Mhm. Just trying to recoup our costs, is what it
Yes.
amounts to.
And like with the tax office, I mean, I could show y'all, I keep the chart, I go in every month and keep up with our collections, The bulk of that money goes back to the state. We basically work for the state. We get very little of that money. Very little. So, but that's just government. It's just where we are.
So currently, you said we had 1.7 million increased revenue? Is that
That's right, that's everybody,
right?
road and bridge.
Right. And with this right here, we got 620 or 30 some odd thousand. Yeah, 630,000 in, if share with the sheriff's department at 5%, not 3%. In, just in salary expense alone, increase. Correct, okay.
And you wanna always keep, it's best to keep your increase for your salaries at least what your revenue coming in. I mean, what's your tax coming in,
Right.
cause that tax will come in next year.
So the additional revenue in O and M will be how much? What'd you say?
Well, 1.7 was everybody.
Yeah, for M and O, just general, is 401. 405 is what we projected up there, and then the road and bridge gets 133 of that. So 534 is what's coming in for M and O. And then y'all are getting on special road tax, 1,183,000. So,
And the projected tax rate's going down 5 cents.
but the public don't see it because their
No,
appraisal
no,
goes
no.
up.
Right.
Their appraisal goes
Yeah.
up, their tax rate drops, but their appraisal goes up, so they still have the same tax.
That's what I was laughing at.
Yeah,
It's a catch-22.
They'd really be upset if we didn't roll it back.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have a point where we can't go back anymore. I'll say this year, but we got a point.
Wait a minute, that's your tax for the day.
thank you so much. I feel like it, I'm glad we did this and, we can,
Future
understand what
reference,
we've got.
always start with this.
Yeah.
day one.
And I feel inadequate. I feel like I can't explain that.
We're gonna work on a 6th grade explanation
I just,
for a college problem, so.
I say as much as my fourth budget, it was 0.58 the first year, we're gonna be somewhere around a 0.35 this time. That's a drop,
23 cents.
that's a drop in that 4 years.
Mhm.
And yet got everything done we got done in this 4 years. Get the pay up where it should be, good people. Things fixed, took care of, we've done good.
I think Joe hit on the head yesterday. If we can just not keep up with the Joneses, stay in the same neighborhood with the Joneses, we'll keep our people. And we'll keep on that and we'll get better. We just can't take leaps. It's gotta take.
Well, we've
steps.
seen, and as Jessica was in here, we've seen that our turnover rate has dropped tremendously in the last year, and it's because of the rate increases that we gave. But, I'm happy for that,
Last year was the leap. Now we just gotta keep up
right?
with steps.
Well, like we talked yesterday, our big ticket item is always salary. I would hope that right now, the court could come together on what we're gonna do on salaries. And plus it'll speed up our process in here. Everybody that comes in will know, we've got that set. Don't come tell us that you
Right.
think you need 8% or you need 10%. We've got it set.
Can we discuss that?
Yeah, let's do it now. Let's do that now.
5%.
What?
Start right there, I agree with 5%.
I agree with 5.
I agree with 5, but I will say this. I said it last year. And I'm gonna hold my word to it. I talked to the constables. And I do think that the constables should get deputy pay. That'd be my exception. That's my opinion. And then that would be more than 5%, but I would wanna look at giving. I'm not saying every year, but the constables that we have now. I think they deserve deputy pay.
Thank you.
And what-
And I appreciate your.
Do you wanna tell us what that difference is? I mean, I can look it up right here.
It's not that much. It's like, I don't know. Do what?
It should be right there. Well, we had to go into another.
Yeah, it's in another sheet that I've got right here.
And which one do you want them to be, Brandon?
I
Deputy,
think that the constables that we have now should get deputy.
Deputy.
the constables with the increase will go, well, right now they're 48.5. And they get $4,540 in certificate pay. On that, so that makes them what, 53? Somewhere around that.
Yep.
And the increase, we have a 5% increase would be $2,400. So they'd be at 50, right at 56,000 dollars. Okay, that would be the constables. Deputies.
You're faster than me.
I'm using a sheet.
He's got a sheet, he's got a spreadsheet.
Deputies are going to 46. Nope, that's not with their 9,200. They've got
Yeah.
so many
Deputies were at 2024 salary 40. It's not.
Deputies are
It's-
55, 356, 95 with the increase this year.
55, right? You got the $9,200 from the grant, the SB 22
Wow.
grant.
We're not talking
But the
about what they,
constables got
we're
that
not
too.
talking about what they,
Constables got the SB 22 grant too, didn't
No,
they? No,
It didn't pan out
No.
like we thought it would.
So the deputies are at what?
55,
And that's
right?
with the 5%?
Yeah, with the 5%, they would be at 55.
But then they can also do certificate pay
Yeah, if they,
That would be another up to
up to.
$4,500.
depends on.
I
Most of them don't have.
constables already.
all constables
We
do.
approved that for constables.
Everybody but Tommy.
I know the constables do, most deputies don't. And the constables, would you say they were 56? I thought you said.
No. They were at with the increase, they would be at, well, they would be at 5,400, 5,500, 55,000 with certificate pay.
Plus certificate.
No, with certificate, they would be at 50,000, 51,000. Then you add certificate pay up to 4,500. So they're pretty much already there.
I would just suggest whatever we say the deputies are, we set their salary, that should be the same as the constable plus their certificate pay.
Well, the deputies are salary plus certificate pay too.
Yeah, now I think the constable should be the exact same as the deputies.
And what we determined that difference was not count student pay, just the base salary difference is.
Right now, it is with the 5% increase, it would be about $4,500.
Well, with all respect, Brandon, I appreciate you, but I guarantee you, you're gonna open up another can of worms with everybody. This county is so distraught over everybody not getting the same percentage of raise. And if you look back on the constable deal, they are more in line than any other elected official in the county. They are closer to being in line and maybe not a little bit above equal counties.
They were, and I agree, but I do think that our constables are not your typical county constables.
Oh, I agree 100%, but once you said it, you can't lower it.
Oh, you can, if we get a new constable in here that's not doing that job that these constables are, you can lower it.
Yeah, lower for all, can't lower. for one.
Can't lower it for one, and
But I mean, you never know.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll have that problem. I mean, I think if we give them this and you don't know, hey, this is under the assumption you're gonna keep on doing what you're doing and you're gonna act like a deputy and keep on helping the sheriff's department. Where things will change. I don't think it's true that it could, you never know, but that's just, I'm one person out of five out
no, I
here. That's just
understand,
my
and
opinion.
I appreciate it.
So that's the my vote.
I said it last year, and I'll say it again this year. If they'd agreed to last year, they'd have got them up. The agreements would have gave it to them. They'd have matched the difference.
Well, I fought like crazy not to get a grievance and I did get with the constables, let's get it set this year, which we did. Or this last year, so let's get everything straight. And then we'll discuss it next year and I promised it to them and I laid it out. I did my part. I think we should consider that and I'm accepting this 1 of 5.
All right. What about the sheriff's department and 8% versus 5%?
I'm for
I know,
five.
I know. Everybody's for
I
5?
think across the
All
board,
right.
every watch, we the same.
All right, everybody at 5, that makes it easy.
That what we all think? Everybody across the board?
Yeah. I'm happy with that.
I'm across the board with 5 all the way, even constables, but that's, like you say, I'm just one.
Okay. What else do we need?
What are we gonna do if we get a tie here, 2-2?
Well,
Let's look around.
that's a good question.
I know what Virgil.
Paper, rock, scissors? Well. All right, what else? We don't have anybody else scheduled. Is there any? Oh, we do,
Well,
okay.
don't you think we should go ahead and get
No,
this
that's-
decision behind us?
Which decision is that? The 5%? I
5% in the constables.
He wants to do the constables more.
Okay,
So we've all
I don't
agreed,
agree.
we all want 5%, and I made the exception of the constables, so I would vote for the constables to get deputy pay. That's my vote.
I'm for 5 across the board, constables included.
Yeah, that's what I'm for 5 across the board. I think we really did a lot to get the constables up last year and they are well above what the other counties and I understand what you're saying, but the government is not based on performance. Pay is not based on performance. And that's the sad fact of the matter.
I'm
So,
not gonna disagree, we all have our opinions,
yes,
we're good.
so, and Commissioner Pratt.
Oh, I'm tempted to go along with Bart just to create a conundrum. No, honestly, man, I think if they feel it's unfair, they have the right to grieve it. I do think you need to prepare it in your budget. If they grieve it, they will probably win.
So you're for the straight 5?
I'm gonna go with a straight bet. And because they do have an option, they do have an ability to stand up. And like I said, be prepared in your budget to have it available firearms. If they agree, they got a good chance.
I'll be for them. So. It's all right, so we're here for it.
I didn't want Brandon to see this. The new salary survey.
Oh, no, I hadn't seen the new one, but I just went off of last year's and y'all are right, our constables are in line with everybody else, they are. I mean, if you went by the numbers, it's what I went last year, it is. I just think our constables. are different. But you may get a new crop in here, they, you never know.
Well, this doesn't have an average. They're all over the place. So I'm not gonna go into it.
You'd have to do some figure.
Yeah. Figure it out, so. So what was your final? Oh, we're doing, we'll let them grieve it. That's what it is.
I found this, be prepared for them to win it grievance, you gotta get it to them.
Okay. All right. So what else? You ready?
That makes it a lot easier. Thank you for going in and doing that.
You bet.
And I can go ahead and get those figures in,
Yes.
Mhm,
below and be ready.
mhm. Okay.
But what about are we all in agreement on the increase in the retirement, 1.75 to 2?
No, we don't have numbers on that yet.
Oh, we
I
don't.
thought
No.
you just gave us numbers.
No, that retirement is the increase in salary increase. No, we have to pay retirement on the increase.
Oh, I thought that was the.
No.
Oh, that's not okay.
No, I thought that was included in that.
No, that's not, that would be larger if you go up to a 2% match.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, just okay, 2%. They give us our percentage of what we have to pay to keep our pool rich.
Oh, and that's, you're waiting,
We have to
waiting
be
to come
able
back
to
to me.
cover, and right now we've got 7.59. It's 7.59 this year, and we're going to 7.63. We have to generate enough money January for that part, right? We have to generate enough money to keep the liability of our pool.
You put-
fund our retirees at the same time.
And you're supposed to meet with that lady tomorrow?
Yes, she's gonna zoom in.
We have to be able to fund our retirees, everybody working, considering they will retire, there's a big. We have to keep that pool funded.
Oh, I was with Chad, I thought that number was.
No. Well, that's-
It's the 1.75.
And help me out that if we raise that fund like Joe, that amount like Mr. Carter was talking about. It's only for future retirees. It doesn't go back and help. I don't want people to think it helps people that are already retired, because it doesn't.
January.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't.
you're gonna get a big hit your first year to do it. Because it increases your pool, boom.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a big
Something
hit.
that we can discuss with her as far as putting in more than the max that they require. If, say, we wanted to jump up to 8% instead of 7.63 or 7.75. To give us a buffer in there, so if we couldn't afford to do it this year, we gain a little bit of a buffer, we would take as big a hit next year.
Hopefully she'll be like, she will explain all that to y'all.
That's what I did send her an email yesterday, and I got on my, back tomorrow, I kind of told her what we were talking about, so. But she's super on one. She was here just a few weeks ago. We want. Oh, bookmark.
Well, I gotta get it. I gotta slow down my cursor. 'Cause it goes.
So we don't even have to talk about salaries of people anymore.
No more.
No.
Yeah, we need to do it this way, at least for the next 2 years, Judge.
So mine didn't change any. I did with 5% in, we're very grateful for that. We appreciate my employees will be very appreciative of that. The only thing if you look at my training line, I had 4,500 in there last year. And I give 1,000 of that to Scott to pay for 2 of my, employees that have LGS access.
Yeah,
And this year I only went to training myself because I had so many out. I had 2 on FMLA at one time, and so I opted to go myself. Normally I let one of the employees go with me so that they can just be aware of the train. They can have a camaraderie with other auditors and assistant auditors. So I would like to put that back up there, so that one of them can go this time. And we have moved it to College Station. That's not quite as expensive as Austin was, so. But I stayed at 6,900. I lowered some of my other expenditures because we don't really need that much in office supplies and.
well, my question is, are you going to need help with all this FEMA money and the FEMA, it's not a grant, what is it? It's just the claims, FEMA claims.
Well, in the past, y'all hired, last time we did FEMA, y'all hired Ruthie, and she came back in and did it all.
Well,
And my office physically can't handle it right now.
I've thought about that. I believe the commissioners are gonna have to, appoint, what's
Lisa?
Lisa. Full-time when this starts, while she's here, her full-time work is gonna have to be towards this FEMA stuff. Instead of answering the phone, she's gonna have to, we're going to put her somewhere where she can work on it.
Well, because, you wasn't, Kenny was with me, when we, we had a meeting with a financial, I sent y'all a letter. There's gonna be a lot of documentation.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what y'all are doing right now is the easy part of it. And you know what, he told us that debris removal was one of the most difficult claims you can file with it. And that's what a lot of our claim is gonna be, is debris removal. Because, he went through measuring the truck, load tickets, I mean.
Well, luckily, we got FEMA. I guess, I don't know if it's FEMA, but it's some government officials going and doing that for us, getting the calculations.
Well, that's just getting you qualified. Then you gotta file everything to get your money. That's
Right.
where it gets difficult.
I'm not sure that we should not contract this out on the debris
I agree.
removal. And one thing is, if we do it ourselves, this thing that's gonna come up in court on a debris location, you're not gonna be able to keep it there a year, and I'm telling you, if I have to pick up that debris in precinct 3, it's gonna be 8 months or longer before I can get it all done and try to maintain the roads.
Mm.
So I'm not sure, as a county, it wouldn't be better for us to contract that out, and that way they're responsible for getting us those tickets, like you say, and get it done so it doesn't drag out.
We're already getting calls, which is crazy, but I think whether we get FEMA money or we don't get FEMA money, we should tap into that emergency fund that you were talking
Mhm.
about and get it
I agree.
moving, but I don't think, we're not gonna have time
Well,
to do
we
it.
can discuss it now in this workshop on the manner to do it and then come up in the meeting tomorrow with the actual motion to do it. To do what, but we don't have cost yet on what a contract.
Get bids on it.
Yeah,
We'll have to do a proposal and it's gonna take 30 days, I mean, all the people. They're just gonna have to understand.
They're just gonna
everybody
wait.
don't move.
Yeah.
We're going to go through the federal procurement standard, we want to put the
Yes.
RFP out and everything, just like we've done with that radio
Yes.
system, it's a long drawn out process compared to what we're used to.
I understand, and it's gonna take some time, but if I have to pick it up, they're gonna have to wait longer than that on me. And plus, I would rather get it out of there because our roads are tore up too. I'd rather get that debris gone before I fix the roads back, because otherwise they're gonna come in with heavy equipment and they're gonna tear up my road when they're picking up that debris. So,
what exactly are we contracting them to pick up?
all the debris that we've cut that's on.
On the county right away?
Yes, that
Okay,
from the storm,
right,
where it blocked the road, we've gone out and cleared the road, but all the debris is still in the right of way.
okay,
So that's what,
And we're just talking about debris in the county right away that we pushed out, we're not talking about private property stuff that's been hauled up. We're
No,
talking
no.
about-
And we don't have the manpower or the time.
no, people can't put their debris out in our right of way and then pick it up.
They're
This is
going
all-
to, but they can't, but they're
Well,
gonna have to.
the DA's gonna call them if they do.
And gentlemen, I'll give you a little touch to this, I got into last year, remember I had that big storm come through, we stayed out all night clearing roads. And had a meeting the next day, I wound up over the PO contracting the tree service to pick up that debris, it still took them a couple of months. And that wasn't near the mess we got now, I got way more down now than it did.
It's gonna take them six months to get everything. I mean, that's my
and
assumption.
where are they gonna take it, or is that not our problem?
That's their responsibility, wherever they take it. Right?
And if we're using the money, we're probably going to have a spot to take it that's been approved through CCEQ. And we're probably going to assign one person to watch them loads come in and make sure it's documented properly.
If y'all do.
But if we have it contracted, isn't it the
The
contractors?
contractor does it, that'll be their
They're
responsibility.
responsible.
They're responsible for getting rid of it.
For disposing. it.
Do we still gotta document their loads or we just take their,
Let's find out.
Why would you have to document their loads when you can clearly see on the road it's gone? I mean,
for FEMA to reimburse it, we have to have documentation.
but FEMA's already came in there and got the number of washing machines.
But that's the estimate to get us approved for the money, but we still gotta show
We
we
gotta-
got what we picked up.
We have to prove it, that
We
we
gotta-
picked that many roads up.
You couldn't just take a picture of the road, it's clear.
And we gotta prove the amount, so we're gonna have some of
Load
this.
tickets from that company.
Mhm.
That wouldn't be hard to get the load tickets and then either A, you ask the company, or B, we send somebody out there
It'd be
and take a
part-
picture.
Be part of the RFP requirements. That
We just
they
got-
would have to provide load tickets for every load.
And we just gotta find out what FEMA's requirement is to verify that load.
And your RFP would be, they could be, I would think. Very distinct in these roads, category, this is the one you gotta pick up.
Now, we've got them all, every one of us has, it's on the road.
You got to print out that road inventory list and hand it to them, that pretty much covers it.
We've got
That's
the,
every single one of them.
we've got the roads and after Vicky does her thing, we'll have a very accurate estimate of how much debris we have out there, qualification. Cause she's trained all the people, the 8 people she's got doing this for us on the debris. They've been trained to look at a pile and accurately estimate how many cubic yards.
How many washing machines?
Yes, sir.
I'm
How many,
saying,
how many washing machines are there? So we should be able to use that on our RFP that this is a job to remove X amount of debris on X amount of county roads. On
Mhm.
named,
mhm.
on so many named county roads. So I think we could, I think it's all doable. And
And then it'd be their responsibility to dispose of the. I mean, I would think it would probably be a company that comes in and shreds it, all the time. And it'd be their responsibility to
Well, burning it would be a whole lot cheaper, but, yeah, it's up to them, how they wanna do it.
So we're all in agreement, we want to contract it out?
Yes,
Well, and I think as soon as we find out, once Vicky gets through with her deal, we'll have an estimate on how much money we're gonna receive back from FEMA if they pick up that amount.
Mhm.
And so then we'll know how much we're willing to spend on a contractor. Cause that's the only amount you're gonna get back, is what is what FEMA estimates it's gonna cost. You're only gonna get 75% of that back. So if
Unless
this,
you get a local match for your 25% of volunteers. I don't know if any of y'all had any kind of type of volunteers.
no, I hadn't had any. I've had some people volunteer to go out and clean it up and stack it better. But now they're waiting on me to come pick it up. You know, when we cleared it, it was edge of road to edge of the road. They've gone out and cleared it, moved it back a little further, volunteered. But now they're waiting on the county to pick up. And I appreciate their help. I understand.
On the RFP, is there a guideline from the federal government we gotta use, or we just gonna write ourselves? A couple of points I'm thinking is, one, we won't do a county RFP, we will do it by precinct.
I was thinking
All
that
the
too.
Contractors can get involved,
I was thinking that
and then we
too.
wanna have them bid it by the load, by the square footage, by the hour, how we gonna have them?
No, you just give them like he said, we'll just give them the roads, we'll give them the square footage, the cubic footage of debris. And they're just to pick it up and get rid of it.
So do we wanna do one countywide RFP, or we'll do one for each precinct, so that smaller contractors have enough?
My suggestion is we break it out and let them pick, which if they wanna do the countywide or if they just wanna do certain precincts.
And you know, we'll have to ask this question, because we got into that problem with when you're doing the RFP for the ARPA, they have to be sound.
Between what?
They have to be sound.gov certified.
It's
It
federal
can't be
money,
a mom and pop, because they're not certified.
and we gotta send it to that group too, that,
Yes, you do have some things. Don't,
it's,
If the contract's with the county, no, not with the FEMA,
that we're using federal funds to pay for it.
okay.
You gotta send it out to the, what is it?
Oh, yeah, we have to send it out to the minority and women-owned businesses. We have to be sure it goes to some of those.
They don't have to respond, we just gotta let them
Yes,
know what
they
it.
don't have to respond, but we have to prove the signature. Perry's gonna have to remind the Lord to go look for that too. There's a place to go look for those. Maybe you'll let them.
So the way that agenda items worded for tomorrow, can we put out an RFP, or is it just open discussion?
Yeah, it's pretty generic, discuss bringing debris removal. It's generic enough that yes, we could come up with we could recommend doing a RFP. To contract to have
I
it.
just think y'all don't have time to follow.
You know,
I don't,
No, there ain't. You're gonna shut down all road work if you're gonna try to haul that off, you're gonna haul it off, so.
it's a double-edged sword. They're gonna drop about ditches, they're gonna drop about debris in the ditches. And then we'll get that done. We're not gonna take care of roads. They're gonna be dropping about the roads, so we're screwed either way, but the roads are more important.
Right,
They can get that done.
but it's like he said, we wanna get the debris out of there before we actually go in and try to repair the roads, but. You gotta go in simultaneously.
On the road work side, do we wanna go ahead and move 2 million from the reserve into a fund set aside that FEMA will replace? And use that to do this road work?
I think we could do that at a later time, once we have numbers,
Once you get qualified, we haven't been qualified.
yeah. Before we actually, approve the contract.
And I'm gonna set up, here's how my fund is gonna be set up. Not gonna be by precinct, it's just gonna be one fund. A FEMA disaster fund. And the categories will be category A, category B, and C. And we'll put your expenses in those. To track them. And I hope you're keeping up with your expenses now, because some of you are spending money now. But the payroll is the big one. We're gonna have to do journal entries and be able to have documentation. To move that out of your regular road and reach to the thing.
And the receipts for the material that we're buying from that April 26th to June, whenever the time period of this declaration, the receipts for that buying material will be documentation, correct?
Mhm. On material, yes.
One thing I've been doing is when I open my POs for material under project, name I list it as storm damage repair. That way all of them invoices that go to that PO are grouped separate from my other stuff.
I've just been keeping the receipts and just putting them in a file, because I think that's what they're going for.
But you know, your personnel. Is a different version.
Well,
You
that's on
have
the
to-
time sheet, and we get that
It's
easy.
just not that. For. Steve Campbell's timesheet. For August, for whatever day, first day, May the 28th. But he can't just put it out. He's got to put how many hours he drove an equipment truck. How many hours he used a chainsaw, and then that documentation's gotta match your equipment. Where you're gonna get reimbursement for equipment. That has to be sure, if he drove that piece of equipment for 4 hours, if he drove a backhoe for 4 hours on April 28th, then your equipment register's gotta show Stephen Campbell driving that backhoe for 4 hours and how much you get for that.
We gotta
It's
get
just
that
not
much
that.
detail.
Now, is that overtime only or is that straight hours too?
Overtime
There's-
only.
There's a calculated rate that they're gonna pay us, right? It's not,
For the equipment, yes, but for the employees, they're just paying overtime.
I believe.
is what I understand.
I've got it downstairs. Because two of them paid the salary and the debris clearing, I think, is just overtime. But don't hold me to that, we've made all our notes that, because I asked the same question. In the past time of in, it was overtime only. But this time it's different, the debris removal, I think, is all time. It's the 8 hours everything,
Now, road repair wasn't overtime on
I think it is now.
because on the past one it wasn't, because I turned in a bunch of straight time on the last.
I've got all the, I don't have it with me here. but- Yeah,
Well,
big deal on that. I'm telling you, the documents is where you're gonna get in trouble.
Sounded to be very detailed.
Have we somewhere, and I don't have any more because I lost them in the remodel. But somewhere there was a sheet, a FEMA approved sheet. That when we were on that road, it showed the employee and. And the equipment, the number of employees, the time they worked and the amount of equipment and the material.
Well, Vicky sent y'all the forms yesterday, I don't know if y'all looked at them. They have to be filled out. The payroll. The equipment. If you come out of here, just read. If you exit out of that one. I started go back, use your back button on your arrow. One more. I started a FEMA resources folder up there. There's your 3 descriptions of what you're gonna be working with. There's your manuals. And that FEMA schedule of equipment rates. Which would be sent y'all that. See, that shows, it's hard to read, but that shows every piece of equipment and how much it pays per hour. That includes your fuel and everything for that vehicle. Or for that piece of equipment, whatever it is. There's the rates right there per hour. So your payroll would be, okay, Steve Campbell drove something for 3 hours. So it would not only be Steve's salary, but it would be the piece of equipment he used too.
Which is not, it's not very high rates, is it?
You're trying to get over there. I'm
It's
sorry.
So little, it's such a big,
See, it goes,
it goes back. See, like a bush hog is what? 47.50 an hour, which I'm sure y'all didn't use that, y'all probably did more backhoes or loaders or something.
Yes, ma'am.
But somebody's gonna have to be filling out all these forms.
And
And
that's
I'm-
what I'm saying, where do I get that form? I need that form right now,
Vicky sent them to you yesterday.
okay? And link to submitting supporting, submit supporting,
No, that's where you're gonna load your pictures.
okay?
there's chainsaw. With bar lengths and,
It's crazy.
yeah,
This is FEMA. Welcome to FEMA.
sometimes, the trick is to streamline your process so that you figured it out and you get it done. Without spending.
Well, and it's like he told us. FEMA at the federal level is turnover after turnover. It's just like our sheriff department. It's new people coming in, they train and they leave. So he said, be prepared. You're gonna, and I remember this, you'll send the documents in one time. And you better have them where you can send them 2, 3, 4 more times. Because you'll send them to one person, they leave, the next person taking their position, oh, we can't find anything. You send it again, then you send it again. FEMA's whole purpose is to wear you out and find your sweat. Did you find your sheet, T?
I didn't, I found, local damage reporting file drop, but I hadn't found any sheets. Only
Y'all
got,
gonna have to go put all your pictures in?
do what?
Do y'all have to put all your pictures in?
Yes, I've got a guy, Stephen, doing all that. He's putting all the pictures in, but that's the only thing I got from Vicky yesterday. That's what I need. I need those sheets to start filling out.
I received something on the 8th from her. Is that it? It's got summary spreadsheets and systems documentation, recalculators.
Yes, that's it, 6/8, Saturday, 6/8.
Okay,
Maybe I have them down there in my office, though.
okay, I got them there then. Okay, I got that one.
Yeah. There's your labor, your equipment, your material, your contracts. All these papers have to be filled out, and then they have to be loaded into the site.
but the advantage to that is there's a central database, so, if you're dealing with multiple FEMA employees, they have access to all the data. And we don't have to keep sending it to different people theoretically.
It don't always work that way. Okay, last time, Sandy's right, we had submitted several times.
Don't you remember how frustrated Ruth we did? I already did that.
Oh, yeah, yes,
They said it last.
several times, and then, like she said, we get a new person, well, you gotta start all over, cause I don't have that old person's info. It is a nightmare. They do finally pay, but you gotta stay after it.
So they want to know, make sure, I know what I'm doing here. They want to know each person, how many hours on what equipment every day.
Every day that you're working on a project, you're gonna get repaid for,
Right.
yes.
We'll have to have your time sheet, then behind it, it'll have to be a daily. What they were doing by the hour. And then whomever will have to probably pull the check. We had to pull checks last time. We had to visibly show their paycheck. It's,
Each person, each machine, every hour, every day.
you said you already had that, didn't you, Chad?
We've been tracking it, but I don't know if we've been tracking it to the degree of, instead on this he run this chainsaw 2 hours. It's just that day he was running the chainsaw.
Several days, they were doing the same thing all day long, though.
But I mean, are we supposed to deduct windshield time? Stuff like that, or just say he was running that saw all day?
They would rather to get to the location.
So you get whatever truck they drove to the
truck.
location, you
Right.
get paid for that truck for that many hours.
But trying to break down, pulled up 5 minutes in the truck, got out, run saw 30 minutes, pulled up another 5 minutes. in the truck.
Yeah.
You're just gonna have to,
That's the part.
Do the best we can. All you can do.
the worst thing that can happen to you is pay your money back.
You what?
That was, the worst thing can happen is you pay your money back. Can't prove it. They told me, which I wish Kenny was here because Kenny was in the meeting and Vicky was too. He told us a story of a city that had a disaster in 18. And they had to replace the culvert. And they're just now in 2024 reviewing it. Well, there's been a lot more damage and repair. So he said taking pictures were very important. You know, they didn't have a picture of where they finished it from that event. And so FEMA was going out trying to look at it today, back from what they showed, well, they had already done more repairs since that time. So they're gonna pay the money back.
I told you this the other day, it's a sad day when you've got American citizens. We gotta go through all this to get a few million, and Ukraine can ask for billions and get it like that. That's sad world. That's just my bit for the day.
Then we're gonna get down into the road and bridge materials because, our road and bridge materials are not compliant with federal.
Don't have the women and minorities.
We didn't bid them out to women and minority businesses. So we'll have to rebid all of our bridge materials. We're gonna use,
I don't even know what that'd be
before you
worth.
start construction, before you start the permanent side of it. Otherwise. you're
What's
gonna make-
considered permanent? 'Cause I know we're going through there, like yesterday, we had, we did 2 roads, one of them had two culverts that were out. Couldn't get past it, so we put the base on there, we put the rock on there, we put millings on there. And when those millings sink, we're gonna come back with asphalt. I mean, those people have to get through those roads. I mean, so we've done 90% of the work, but we had to. We didn't have a choice.
So this question is a good question. What is considered stabilizing? What is considered completion?
Our shoe coordinator,
Now that,
we'll have to answer those questions.
the last one I went through, We didn't have to do, they didn't ask about that. They just asked what.
That was the state. Was that-
No, it was FEMA. We were dealing with that Dion.
She state.
Oh,
We're going to the federal level this year because the president signed a declaration.
okay.
The disasters we went through last time were strictly state disasters.
Oh.
And they don't have near as strict compliance on those. We're in the same disaster type as the ARPA money we got.
Okay.
They're federal money, and they have a whole different set of guidelines.
So are we supposed to wait till we go through the federal RFP process for material before we can go put rock and all?
If you're gonna ask for reimbursement,
But
Now, we
gotta put
can
rock
use
and
our
all,
local-
We can't leave it.
we can use our local policy up to 50,000.
I'll move through that yesterday.
So if you go over 50,000, if you ask for more than $50,000 in rock, you better have it. You have to have it bid out, and I have to be able to prove minority owned businesses.
So I can open a $50,000 PO for crushed rock and run on that to kind of fill these holes in the gap till we get wherever else we need.
But if you go back and ask for more, you know, they may not approve it. I don't know.
Well, that lasts you a week.
It's all new. I mean,
Yes, ma'am.
Depends on where we're at.
The rock may last you a while, but $50,000 in asphalt, you go through that in one day. I mean, that's.
Well,
I'm
that's what I'm
just telling you what he told me.
Yeah.
I was the one that said, Kenny and I, and
That's what I'm saying, if I can stabilize it with rock until we can get a bid for the asphalt and come back covered.
Wow.
we can bring him back in here and he can talk to you all. He said he'd come back anytime.
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, we've got to get these roads done so people can drive through them. We don't have time to wait on them.
Let's get them to come back Friday. That's the road and bridge day workshop.
I'll touch base and see if he can be here Friday.
Yeah, probably 11 or so.
Yeah, because I don't know about these other guys, but my budget is not gonna take very long.
Yeah, mine's shot.
I'm talking about my next year's.
Oh, mine's shot when I'm done this year. After this.
Okay. Anything else on the, we'll pick up on the FEMA stuff. I'll tell Vicky. So 11 o'clock on Friday. One other item that's really budget related, and disaster related, that's on our agenda for Wednesday that we can discuss now and try to, come to an agreement or whatnot. And that's yours, Brandon, on, discuss, consider compensating county employees for the use of personal phones during a declared disaster.
Yeah, me and Virgil talked about this. I guess that Monday, we had that meeting. And me and him, I didn't get with any of y'all, it's me and him talking, I was gonna bring it up. We thought $25 a month for these 2 months, is basically what it is. Because I'm sure all of our guys are doing it, they're using their personal cell phones, taking these pictures, putting them in P-stat. And helping us out a lot by doing this. And I just figured, it's their own personal phones and they're using them for work. And we thought $25 a month just during this disaster area, not full time, just during this 2 month period of reimbursing them $50, $25 a month.
Realize you've got employees right now using their phones every day, but don't get anything.
No.
District court employees use their cell phone is, their 8x8 is to their phones. And when
Well-
they're at the jail, they're using their cell phones.
My argument
Doesn't
to
it can,
that would be. We all have cell phones. We use them, we're gonna have them regardless. We use them to call, I'll use them to call Keith, I use them to call Judge, use them to call you, we're gonna have these cell phones regardless. But this is a totally different type of deal where we're using it for government records. To be put into government records, And so it's getting used in a totally different way than just using a cell phone.
Realize your cell phone is public record,
Yes.
you get in trouble, they come get your phone.
Well, I stay out of trouble.
They can come get those district court employees phones, they can come get anybody's.
No, I see your point 100%.
Is it costing their bill to go up? Because cell phone plans are so different now than
No.
it used to be.
That's not costing. them.
Well, that's somewhat irrelevant. We are asking employees to use their personal property to conduct county business. That's the issue. So do they get reimbursed for us asking them to use their personal property?
If you do, you're gonna have to do it for everybody.
That's true.
I mean, cause that was the first thing to come out.
Okay.
From the employees up there was I had to take.
Then,
them to jail.
if that's the case, then I'd be against it. I mean, I'd be against it. I wouldn't be. If that's what we have to do, then I would not want to do it.
Okay, well, then, yeah, it would have to be universal.
And then how you gonna distinguish 2 months from now when you're still calling them on their cell phone that we're not paying you for it, even though you're still using?
Well, it goes back to what I told Sandy.
Where is the cell phone, the county cell phones that y'all have for emergency?
We're just talking about employees that are not issued a cell phone. That,
But I meant that they're county, your guys that are having to use their phones. Y'all have an issued phone, don't you?
I do.
Where's that? Can they not
Yeah.
use that phone?
Yeah, and I could let one person use that. I've got 2 people out doing it. So,
It was just a thought, but when you get more detailed, like you're saying, and if it's gotta be universal, then I'm not for it. I'm not for it. So no, I was just thinking. At the moment, hey, they're getting these pictures, they're sending them to me, they're putting them in this PStat or iStat or whatever it's called. And that was just our thinking,
you'd have to do a one-time $50 per employee across the board.
yeah.
Yeah, and then if you do a cell phone allowance, you get into. Doesn't have to be a payroll tax.
Well,
You have to be reported on. payroll.
right, it does.
I don't think it's worth $50 to go through all this. So I'd be against it with what y'all just laid out.
All right, we got that one taken care of too. What else? I had one other thing, and that is the mileage reimbursement. Do we want to set what the mileage reimbursement is going to be for the new year? The current mileage. Well, I'll turn it out somewhere.
2024 is going to 67 cents.
Right, and we are at, and it went 67 from where? 65 point, and we are last year we're at 58.
Yeah.
And I was gonna recommend we go to 60.
I'll second that.
Okay, is there anybody in disagreement to go to 60 on a mileage reimbursement?
Let's do it by June 23rd. I'm going to Padre. A lot of miles.
Won't affect it till October.
Yeah,
All right.
okay, you have an objection going to 60? Okay, we'll do that. And I'll put a memo out to all of the county that postage will increase from the first class letter will go from 68 cents to 73 cents effective July 14th this year. So I'll put something out to make sure they all buy up as much of their postage budget as they can on stamps before July 15th, 14th. And do that. And then by using, we get a certain discount using our machine. I don't know how much that is, but it's not quite. But that's pretty significant. I printed out in January 2020, we were at 55 cents. And July of 2024 will be at 73 cents. So this. Yeah, they're just encouraging us to find other ways to deliver things. All right,
I do have a Wi-Fi, can say anything here, just.
okay,
John Horn, I mentioned it a while back. It's related to the radio system, it's a Siri grant. When we talk about letting the schools come on board a radio system. The COG, also put in a Siri grant to add another repeater to each site and increase capacity.
mm-hmm,
And I got word yesterday that. It's not final approval, that won't happen until September, till around September, almost
Mhm.
September. But it looks like we'll be getting 180,000 to add repeaters.
wow,
Speaking of radios, when are the towers supposed to be complete?
They're setting the shelter at the Ben Wheeler site this Friday. And we're anticipating breaking ground on the tires, and Barry will be zooming in our Wednesday meeting to give you more information, but those should be built here in the next couple of months, except for the precinct 2 side, it's a little behind to relocate.
I hope we have this all behind us by December, or most of it taken care of by December 31st.
We're still looking at being on the system by then, it won't be completed. But we're hoping to be doing what they call the burn-in phase, where we actually put everyone on it and utilize it and see what problems pop up. And start your punch out list. That's the goal, to be there.
she moved it yesterday afternoon.
This season?
If we can stay on track. Still have to, like I said, punch list it out and then work on the 5 county interoperability,
Mhm.
tie in for the roam.
Have we received all the MOUs?
We do not have all the MOUs from everybody yet, we have about half of them in hand,
Okay,
and the city's never got back with me on anything.
about buying radios or about,
About the
About
MOU, you
MOU.
know, they was wanting to have their lawyers send us over something.
Mhm.
Never got anything back from them.
okay,
When I have a more solid date on the cutover and the program, I'm gonna reach back out to them, follow up.
okay, we have scheduled. For the 18th, where's that sheet? Where's the sheet? Just had it, somebody got it. There it is. I don't have the sheet, 18th, I need one with the 18th. Just been informed that Virgil's funeral service will be on the 18th,
What day is that?
2 p.m.
It'll be next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, actually, we have Commissioners Court in the morning, there's nothing scheduled budget wise, so we're okay. It's not an issue.
What time?
2 p.m. at Lakeside in the viewing or the visitation will be Monday, June the 17th from 6 to 8 at Eubanks. Funeral Tuesday at June 18th at 2 p.m. I just updated last night the website to show. Got it. With Virgil's. An honor to. Where is? There it is. No,
Have you,
get over there.
have you made any progress on the replacement or anything?
No. I have candidates that have asked or have indicated they were interested. But I haven't done any further because I can't do anything until the funeral, and I didn't know when that was going to be done. Now that I do, I can move forward with it.
What time did you say the viewing was?
6 to 8, Monday night. Not viewing, visitation. All right, anything else? All right,
What are the, plans on the courthouse on that Tuesday afternoon?
yeah, that's probably something we should discuss. I would suggest we close down the county, period.
That's what I,
Yeah, nobody will be in this courthouse.
Yeah. Should we do it at noon?
at least by one.
Yeah, I would say not just the courthouse, the county too, because you know, precinct two, you don't have any guys working there, and I know some of my, all of our guys do, them, some of them, not all of them, some of them,
Mhm.
might just shut the whole county down.
And I have gotten preliminary not approval, the governor is going to issue a proclamation to put the flags at half-staff for Virgil. Now that I have dates of the service and probably start on Friday. But we'll get that worked out now that we know the service dates. And most likely Janice will not be at the service.
She will not,
No,
well, I was just fixing to say.
most likely, that's what the preliminary is, because she's still having, she's still not there yet. Physically. All right. Anything else? All right, call this meeting over at 10:49. 10:50. Can't stop recording until somebody leaves.
I'm
I'm with them. We ain't got nothing to do, we're done.
Absolutely, I don't know what's going on.
I just know we gotta be here now to talk to them.
I know we're looking, they handed both of us one, but I don't know what I'm. Down there. Oh, sorry about that.
No problem.
Thank you, Sam.
That was a productive meeting.
It was.
It was. Got a lot of, we nipped one big old problem in the butt real quick.
Nine.